Welcome to my channel. My name's Addie, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a monthly book wrap up for the month of March. So in March, I read a total of 6 books, and I'm going to share them with you guys in the order that I read them in. Starting off with Blood and Ruin. It was not a good start this month. This was a 2-star read for me. Luckily, I did get this as an ARC read through NetGalley, so I didn't spend any money on this book. If you like books that have a pretty cover, are predominantly smut, and have a plot, then you might really enjoy this book. This book is pretty popular. It just wasn't my kind of a book. I'm big on romance books, but I like the romance to be a subplot. And I don't necessarily need a spicy book, but I don't mind having some spicy scenes. I just don't like when it's overdone. All right, moving on to the second read of March, and that is The Therapy Room. I gave this book 3 stars. It isn't something that I usually read because there is no romance in this book. It follows an investigator, and they're trying to find out who Splinter is, and it's a serial killer. The reason I didn't quite like this book is because the dialogue between the characters was just off, and it would pull me out of the book. But I couldn't necessarily put it down either because, like I said, I wanted to know who Splinter was, and it was just interesting. It does solve the case in this book, but it does then end on a cliffhanger of sorts. I personally won't be continuing this series. Overall, I think it was a really good book, but it just felt kind of flat for me. I also got this one through NetGalley as a digital ARC copy. Third on my list is Campaigning for a Midnight Kiss. I gave this one 3 stars. This is a very short romance story. And because it was so short, all of the characters felt very two-dimensional, but the love story itself was really cute. The romance is between the adult children of the campaigners. I think it was a really cute romance book. I think it was a really cute palate cleanser. I wish the book was longer so that it had more details in it. Overall, I liked it, but it felt flat because all the characters were two-dimensional. This book I got through Book Siren as a digital ARC copy. Next one on the list is Falling in Line. I gave this read 4 stars. It is a small town romance, and they actually were already together, but the girl left, and then she ends up coming back because her father was recovering from a surgery. I really liked it. Great palate cleanser if you're someone that reads a lot of fantasy books, which I tend to do. I also received this one through NetGalley as a digital ARC copy. This is the second one in a series, but I think the first one doesn't have these characters in it. I'm not sure though. Next one on the list is Light Lark. This was actually a reread for me, and I went ahead and gave this book 4 stars. Some of you may already know about this book, but for those of you who don't, the premise of it is about an island that disappears and comes back every, I think it's 100 years. And there's a curse that needs to be broken. And this time around is actually the last chance they have at it because of reasons you find out in the book. It does have a little bit of a love triangle going on, and it does end on a cliffhanger. I am currently reading the second one, which I have right here, Nightbane. I really enjoyed it, but this book is one of those that is very divided. Some people either absolutely love the book and some people just don't like it at all. I personally really enjoyed it. My last read for the month of March was Circe. It's also the only book that I physically have. And this is a book that is typically also not what I read. It's a Greek mythology book. I gave this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. A great thing about this book is that in the very back, it does have a cast of characters that you can go over before you start the story, making it, in my opinion, a lot easier to follow. For this book, I also did a reading vlog. It's the very first time that I've done something like that, and I may do more reading vlogs in the future. So this book is about the lesser known god that hooks up with Odysseus in the Odyssey, Circe. She's essentially the black sheep of the family, and nobody respects her or thinks she can do anything, and anything that could possibly go wrong for this girl goes wrong. It's also not something that really has a romance story in it, and Odysseus isn't very prominent in the story. He essentially just helps her get pregnant. This book is not at all as fast-paced as the Odyssey was, or as action-packed. It is action-packed, it's just not action-packed in the same way that the Odyssey was. Overall, and especially if you're into Greek mythology, I would recommend this book. It was such a great read, in my opinion. And those are all the books that I read in March. I didn't get around to reading as many books this month as I typically get around to, just because I've been juggling quite a few things. But that is everything for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!